All right, good morning. We are going to graph a set of inequalities on an XY axis now. And there is going to be shading all over this thing because all of these are inequalities. Now, I know that you hate this 0.5, and so do I. So let's rewrite that right off the bat. This is y is greater than negative 1/2. That way I have a slope, a rise over run slope, plus 1. Now, if you're weak at graphing, that's the problem. All right, you need to go back and watch the videos we made, the graphing trilogy on how to graph lines. There's 3 different ones, 3 different ways. This isn't solved for y here, so that needs fixed. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides, and that's going to turn into y is less than negative 3x plus 5. All right, and then this one, I might as well just rewrite it so it's all in yellow so we know what's going on. So there we go. So plus 2. Right. Now, let's color code these. I'll make this one green. I will make this one red. And this one blue. Now, let's make this one like orange. Okay? So we'll do the green one first. If I'm graphing this right here, my y-intercept, my y-axis intercept is plus 1, so I'm going to be as neat as I can. Go up 1 right there, put a dot, and then follow my slope, which is negative 1/2. So I'll come down 1 and over 2. I'll put a dot right there, and then all of these are less than or greater than. So there's no equal to, which means all of these lines are going to be dotted. All right, so bear with me while I draw a bunch of dotted lines as straight as I can down through here. You want to make these lines extra long here. Okay, because you need to know where this thing shades. So there's the green one. Now the red one. The red one has a y-axis intercept of plus 5. So we're going to go up 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and we'll have a big old bold dot right there. And then its slope is negative 3. So we're going to go down 3, 1 from here. 1, 2, 3. And then over to the right 1. So that'd be about right there. Right? We want to get our line slopes as good as we can. Now remember, I didn't shade this thing yet. I'm not going to shade it until the very end. All right, so here's my dotted line for that. Again, it's hard to be straight and dotted when I have to do this, but there you get the basic idea. All right, so we got that. Then we got the orange one. Orange. A little bit brighter. Plus 2. So we're going to go up 2, put a dot, and then our slope is going to be positive 2. So we're going to go up 2 over 1, right about there, and we'll put a line going through here. A dotted line. All these things are dotted. Okay, now, I want you to just watch this for a while before you start shading in your notebooks, because I can undo this very easily. Okay, so I'm going to do a bunch of weird shading, and then I'll undo it, and then show you where the final area is. Let's look at green first. All right, green. So we're just tuning in on this one right here in the green line. It is shaded above. Okay, so it's all of this stuff above this. Now remember, don't do this, but just keep a mental picture of that. So it's above all that. Okay, so it's above that line. The red line is less than, so it's below the red line. All right, so it's all of this here. I'll do that in one line so I can just undo it all at once. So it's above the green, below the red, and actually below the orange. So if I shade below the orange here, and remember, it was above the green and below the red, you can see that the overlapped piece will be this area right inside this little triangle right here. Okay, so that is your solution set. And I will just kind of, this is going to be messy, but I think you'll be able to see it. Now keep in mind, that's the answer. But one more time, above the green, below the red, can see where that overlaps right in there, right in there, and then below the orange. So it would be here. And you see that this part right in here, that's not part of the solution set because there's no green in it, right? Let me get rid of that circle. And this isn't part of it because there's no red in it. So you have to, and if you use like crayons or colored pencils or something like that, it's a little bit easier. But you don't want to go hog wild like this with your pencil or pen, which would be even more disastrous, because it looks like a mess like I have here. So what your final answer needs to look like is that right there. Okay, that would be your final answer, and you guys have a good one.